welcome to another deep dive. We're going deep into some really fascinating concepts from a pretty dense source.
That's definitely dense.
We're talking about the ancient secret of the flower of life.
By Drunvalo Melchizedek.
That's right, by Drunvalo Melchizedek, and we're tackling both volumes 1 and 2.
All the flower of life.
And I'm telling you, these books
They're packed.
don't hold back.
No, they do not.
So,
What do you think is like the...
but give away...
What's the
big
overarching idea that ties all this together? What's the mission of this deep dive?
Well, I think that Melchizedek's main point is that there's this hidden knowledge encoded in ancient symbols and traditions.
Yeah.
And specifically, it's something called the flower of life. Have you heard of that?
I have heard of the flower of life, but I don't know that I could explain it to anybody.
Yeah. So it's this geometric pattern.
Okay.
And Melchizedek claims it's like a blueprint for all of creation, like everything from the structure of the universe.
Down to the human body, it's all connected through this pattern.
Whoa. So are you saying that, like, if we can understand this flower of life, we can unlock a deeper understanding of ourselves and the universe?
100%. That's exactly what he's saying.
That's a big claim.
Huge claim.
So where do we even begin with all this?
He starts in ancient Egypt.
Okay. You had me at ancient Egypt.
I know, right?
So tell me, what's going on in ancient Egypt?
So Melchizedek claims that there's a hidden chamber underneath the Sphinx.
Okay, I've heard this.
Yeah.
I've heard this theory, yeah.
So it's in the right paw of the Sphinx, and it contains proof of, get this, advanced civilizations that existed millions of years ago.
Oh, hold on. Millions of years.
Millions of years?
That would completely rewrite history as we know it.
I know.
Is he the only one who believes this?
So this is where it gets interesting. He actually backs this up with the work of Edgar Cayce.
Oh, wow.
The Sleeping Prophet.
Okay, yeah.
And they both believed that this hidden chamber holds the key to understanding our true origins and the advanced knowledge of these ancient civilizations.
So if this chamber was ever found...
Oh, man.
Game changer.
Total game changer, right.
That's almost too incredible to even think about.
Yeah.
But how does this tie back to the flower of life?
So Melchizedek's argument is that the knowledge contained within this hidden chamber and other ancient traditions is based on the principles of sacred geometry. And the flower of life is a central part of that. He believes that this is like a key to unlocking this ancient wisdom.
It's like a code.
Yes.
Embedded in these geometric patterns, just waiting to be deciphered.
It's a beautiful concept, right?
Oh, it is. It totally is. Now, before we started, you mentioned something about the Dogon tribe in Africa.
Yes.
How do they fit into all of this?
This is where it gets even more interesting. So the Dogon, they have incredibly detailed knowledge about the star Sirius, including its companion star Sirius B, which is a white dwarf.
Okay.
Now, what's remarkable is they had this knowledge long before modern astronomy could even confirm it.
Wait, so are we talking about aliens here?
Well, their cave drawings depict a flying saucer and dolphin-like beings, so you can see where that comes from.
I can see how people get there.
But even if we put aside the extraterrestrial angle for a moment, the question remains, how did they acquire this knowledge?
It's a total mystery.
It is a total mystery.
That makes you wonder what other secrets are hiding in plain sight.
Right.
But, okay, let's bring it back down to Earth for a second.
Okay.
How does Sirius, a star light years away, affect us here?
Right. So Melchizedek believes that Earth and Sirius are connected through what he calls a cosmic dance.
Cosmic dance.
A very complex interplay of energies, and he dives into the concept of precession of the equinoxes, which is a very slow wobble of the Earth's axis that takes about 26,000 years to complete one cycle.
So the Earth's doing a little wobble.
It's doing a little wobble.
Over thousands of years. I'm guessing that's not just some random dance move.
You got it. So Melchizedek ties this to the yugas.
The yugas.
Which are vast cycles of time described in ancient Hindu texts. And each yuga represents a different phase in the evolution of human consciousness.
So we're talking about cycles within cycles.
Exactly.
But where are we in this grand cosmic dance right now?
Well, this is a key point. Melchizedek believes we're in a pivotal transition period, a time of rapid transformation and a shift in consciousness. He even ties this to the fall of Atlantis.
Hold on. Atlantis is coming into this now.
Oh, yeah. Atlantis is a big part of this.
Okay.
So according to Melchizedek, Atlantis was this highly advanced civilization that existed thousands of years ago.
Okay.
He describes this pretty dramatic narrative of its destruction. Mm-hmm. And guess what?
Right.
He says that extraterrestrials had a role.
This is getting more and more intriguing. Okay, so we've got extraterrestrials, ancient civilizations, cosmic cycles. It's all connected.
It's blowing my mind.
I know.
But how does Atlantis, which existed thousands of years ago, connect to human evolution today?
That's a great question. So Melchizedek suggests that the fall of Atlantis and the events surrounding it had a profound impact on human consciousness, particularly on the way we think and process information.
So something happened back then
that
changed the way our brains work.
Exactly.
And this is still affecting us today.
That's his argument, yeah.
Wow.
He even draws a really interesting connection to the Egyptian myth of Osiris.
Okay.
Where Osiris's body is dismembered and scattered, right?
Right.
And he uses that as a metaphor for the fragmented state of human consciousness after the fall of Atlantis.
So we're all just walking around like fragmented versions of Osiris.
Yeah, it's a powerful image, right?
That is a powerful image. But is there a way to put the pieces back together?
He thinks there is.
And he thinks it has something to do with what he calls the new children.
Okay, now I'm really hooked. What's so special about these new children?
Well, he describes them as having extraordinary abilities.
Okay.
And representing a leap in human evolution.
Okay.
There are a few different categories.
Okay.
And each one is kind of fascinating in its own right.
All right, lay it on me. What are these different types?
He calls them indigo children, AIDS children, and super psychic children.
Wow, it's a lot to unpack.
I know. We got a lot to dive into.
All right, so new children, different categories, extraordinary abilities.
Let's start with the indigo children.
Okay.
So these kids, Melchizedek describes them as being incredibly sensitive, intuitive, and often they kind of challenge the traditional ways of thinking and like ways of doing things.
So like these are the kids that just kind of like know things.
Yes.
Like they just have this like almost otherworldly understanding.
They need to get it, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's pretty amazing. What about the AIDS children?
So this is where it gets even more interesting. So Melchizedek says that these children are immune to HIV/AIDS.
Wow.
And they may possess like this unique DNA, you know, and he even suggests that their very existence could be a sign of human evolution, like adapting to the challenges of like our modern world.
That's wild.
It is wild.
It really makes you wonder what kind of potential is like locked up in our DNA, just waiting to be unlocked.
Exactly.
What about the super psychic children?
Okay, get ready for this. Telekinesis, clairvoyance, the ability to like see with different parts of their bodies.
Like what?
Yeah, he's saying that these children are really pushing the boundaries of what we think is humanly possible.
This is like X-Men stuff.
Right? Straight out of a movie.
But is there any evidence? Like, does he back this up?
So he cites research studies, reports from around the world, but it's definitely on the fringe, you know?
Yeah.
It's hard to find like solid scientific proof.
Right.
But it's just mind-blowing to consider. Right?
It really is. But I'm curious.
Yeah.
What does all this mean for the future of humanity?
That's a big question, and it's one we're going to keep exploring throughout this deep dive. But I think one thing's for sure.
Yeah.
Melchizedek really believes that these children, this ancient knowledge and this shift in consciousness, it's all connected to a greater plan, you know? Like this grand evolutionary leap for humanity.
Okay, so we've got ancient mysteries,
yes,
extraterrestrials, cosmic cycles, and children with extraordinary abilities. My head is spinning, but I'm ready for more.
Okay, good. Because Melchizedek doesn't stop there.
He doesn't.
Oh, no.
Okay.
He also dives into this concept called the Merkaba.
The Merkaba, what is that?
So this is like a powerful energy field that surrounds the human body.
Okay.
And get this.
What?
He says we can actually activate it.
Activate it? What do you mean activate it?
We'll get into all that in the next part, but I'll just leave you with this. Melchizedek believes that by activating our Merkaba, we can tap into these incredible healing abilities, expanded consciousness, and even interdimensional travel.
Interdimensional travel.
Mark heard that right.
All right, you've officially piqued my interest. We'll be back soon to explore the Merkaba and all its mysteries. All right, so the Merkaba, this powerful energy field surrounding the human body, that we can activate.
Melchizedek goes into a lot of detail about this.
Oh, good.
So it's a pretty fascinating process.
Second, honey.
He calls it a series of 17 breaths.
17 breaths. Okay, is this like some ancient yogic practice?
You know, it does have that kind of feel to certain yogic practices. Each breath is combined with specific visualizations and mudras, which are hand positions.
Right. Okay.
So it's...
So each breath has a purpose. Like, what are we doing with these 17 breaths?
Think of it this way.
Okay.
You're using your breath and your mind and your body to create a powerful rotating field of energy around you. Some of the breaths are designed to balance the energies within your body. Others activate your chakras, which are your energy centers. Yeah. And the final breaths are what actually create the counter-rotating fields that make up the Merkaba.
Wow. So it's like a step-by-step process.
Exactly.
Okay.
Building up this energy field with each breath.
But what happens when it's fully activated? What does it feel like?
Well, Melchizedek describes a range of experiences. Yeah. Everything from a feeling of deep peace and expanded awareness to profound healing. And even interdimensional travel.
Interdimensional travel? Wait, like visiting other dimensions?
It's a mind-bending concept. Yeah, but that's exactly what he's suggesting. Oh. He even claims that we've all used our Merkabahs in other lifetimes.
Okay.
And that it's an innate ability that we've just kind of forgotten about.
Forgotten? I can barely remember what I had for breakfast.
Right.
How are we supposed to remember something like that?
So this is where meditation comes in. Breath work. Connecting with nature. He believes that by practicing those techniques and living in alignment with our true selves, we can gradually awaken those ancient memories.
Okay, so it's a journey of rediscovering our true potential.
Exactly.
Okay, you mentioned healing. What role does the Merkaba play in that?
So Melchizedek describes the Merkaba as a powerful tool for healing, both physically and emotionally.
Okay.
He says that the rotating energy fields can clear blockages in the chakras, balance the body's energy systems, even facilitate cellular regeneration.
So it's like a supercharged healing system.
That's a good way to put it.
But if the Merkaba is this powerful...
Yeah.
Are there any dangers associated with it?
He does caution against improper activation.
Okay.
He calls this creating a reversed spin field.
A reverse spin field.
Which he describes as, and this is a big word, anti-life.
Anti-life. Okay.
So it's not something to mess around with.
No, it sounds pretty serious.
Yeah, he believes it can disrupt the natural flow of energy in the body.
Okay.
Lead to illness, even death.
So this isn't just like following some steps in a book and hoping for the best. Like, we need to be careful. We need to find a teacher or someone who knows.
100%. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
He stresses the importance of finding experienced teachers or facilitators who can really guide you through the process.
Makes sense.
Safely and effectively.
Okay.
It's not something to just jump into on your own.
Okay, I've got to ask.
Yeah.
He also talks about, like, psychic powers.
Oh, yeah.
There's CDs that can be developed through the Merkaba. Yeah. Is he serious?
Dead serious. Okay. So he describes a wide range of CDs like telepathy, clairvoyance, levitation, manifestation, you know.
So like real, like superpower stuff.
It's pretty wild.
It's hard to believe that we could actually develop those kinds of abilities.
Yeah, I know.
But is there any evidence to support this?
He points to accounts and traditions from all over the world, but it's hard to find. Like hard scientific proof.
Right.
But the idea itself is pretty captivating, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
But even if these cities are real, wouldn't there be dangers in developing them? Couldn't they be misused?
Absolutely, yeah. He acknowledges that potential for misuse.
Okay.
He warns that cities can be a trap for the ego, leading to pride and a sense of separation.
Right. Well,
he emphasizes the importance of maintaining humility, compassion, and a focus on service when you're exploring these abilities.
So it's not just about gaining power. Right. It's about like how you use it.
It's about using it wisely.
Right. Staying grounded.
Staying connected.
Getting it to your heart.
Exactly, yeah. He believes that true power actually lies in love and compassion and connection to the divine.
Okay. So much to think about with all of this.
Yeah, there is.
This whole Merkaba thing. It feels like we're like stepping into a whole new realm of possibilities, but is there anything, like practically speaking, that we can do to prepare ourselves
That's a good question.
for this journey?
Yeah.
Like, how do we even begin?
So he talks about a few things.
Okay.
Connecting with like-minded individuals.
Okay, so like finding your tribe, your people.
Exactly, yeah. Seek guidance from spiritual teachers or mentors. He really believes that having that supportive community and that wise guidance can make a huge difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he also mentions this thing called a surrogate Merkaba.
A surrogate Merkaba. Okay, what is that?
So he's saying that we can actually create a Merkaba field that's separate from our own personal one.
So not around our body.
Not around your body, no. This is a field that you can place in a specific location, like your home or a piece of land, for example.
So it's like a protective energy bubble around a space.
Exactly.
What would be the purpose of that?
Well, he suggests that it can be used for all sorts of things, like creating a more harmonious atmosphere, protecting a space from negative energies, or even like enhancing the growth of plants.
That's wild. It's like taking this energy and like projecting it outwards to make a positive change in our surroundings.
Exactly.
It's amazing. But where does all this energy come from? Is it just us?
Well, he also talks about connecting with higher realms of consciousness.
Okay.
Things like our higher selves, even angels or spiritual guides.
Right.
And he believes that we can draw on their energy and wisdom to support us.
It's like having a team of spiritual allies working with us.
It's a beautiful concept, right?
It really is.
Yeah.
But all of this, activating the Merkaba, the Siddhis, where does this all fit in with this larger picture of human evolution?
So that's a great question.
Yeah.
And it's one that Melchizedek addresses directly. He believes that we're actually on the cusp of a major shift in consciousness, a transition to a higher dimension of existence.
A shift to a higher dimension. What does that even mean?
Well, it's not like we're going to be teleporting to another planet or anything.
Okay.
Think of it more like an expansion of consciousness, a widening of our perception of reality. He says that our current three-dimensional reality is just one slice of a much larger multidimensional reality.
So there are other dimensions out there beyond what we can see and experience.
That's the idea.
Okay, but if this shift is happening, are there any signs? Anything we should be looking out for?
He points to a few potential indicators, including a weakening of the Earth's geomagnetic field.
Wait, is the Earth's magnetic field actually weakening?
It is. Scientific data shows that it's been gradually declining.
Really?
Yeah, over the past few centuries. And Melchizedek suggests that as we get closer to this dimensional shift, this decline's going to accelerate. And we might start seeing some noticeable effects.
Like what? What would we actually experience?
He talks about things like unusual animal behavior.
Maybe even disruptions in our technology.
Okay.
Think about it. Our technology really relies on Earth's magnetic field for things like navigation and communication.
Yeah.
If that field starts fluctuating, who knows what could happen?
Okay, now I'm a little nervous.
Right.
Let's talk about the actual experience of this shift.
Yeah.
Melchizedek describes it as a process, right?
He does.
What are the stages? What might we go through?
He describes a period of heightened energy and awareness leading up to the shift.
Okay.
So imagine feeling more connected to everything, more intuitive, maybe even having some psychic experiences.
All right. That doesn't sound so bad. What happens next?
Then things get a little weirder.
Okay, here we go.
He suggests that as the shift intensifies, our perception of reality might start to distort, like physical objects might appear to melt or morph, and our sense of time might become like fluid, nonlinear.
Melting buildings and time loops. This is like a Salvador Dali painting. It's definitely pushing the boundaries of our understanding of reality.
Yeah.
But he emphasizes that this is a natural process. It's just a transition from one state of being to another.
Right. But how are we supposed to deal with all this weirdness? It sounds pretty intense.
He stresses the importance of staying calm and grounded during this chaotic phase.
Okay.
Things like meditation, breath work, connecting with nature to help us anchor ourselves and maintain that sense of inner peace, because it's going to be wild.
Yeah, so it's like riding a wave, and we need to find our balance to stay afloat.
Yeah.
What happens after all this craziness is that when we enter this higher dimension.
So it's not quite that simple. He actually describes this transitional space between dimensions that he calls the void.
The void. Okay, now you're really freaking me out.
Yeah.
What is the void?
He describes it as a period of complete darkness, kind of a cosmic blackout.
Okay.
That lasts for about 3 days.
3 days of darkness.
Yep, 3 days. And it's a time when our old reality completely dissolves and a new one starts to emerge.
What happens after we come out of the void? What does this new reality look like?
He paints a picture of a world filled with light, harmony, and interconnectedness.
Yep.
He suggests that in this higher dimension, our consciousness is expanded, our abilities are amplified, and we'll just have a much deeper understanding of ourselves and the universe.
That sounds amazing. But I'm guessing it's not all rainbows and unicorns.
Probably not, no.
Are there any potential challenges?
He cautions that our thoughts and emotions will manifest much more rapidly in this higher dimension.
Oh, wow.
So if we're holding on to fear, anger, or negativity, we're likely to experience more of that in our reality.
So it's like a cosmic mirror reflecting back our own inner state.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
So we need to do some work.
Yeah, we do.
Before we get there.
Inner work.
Yeah.
For sure.
What about those who aren't ready? What happens to them?
Well, he suggests that those who aren't prepared might be drawn back to the third dimension.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe repeating similar lessons until they're ready to evolve.
Yeah.
He believes that ultimately, though, each soul will experience the shift
Okay.
in a way that's aligned with their level of evolution and their soul's purpose.
So everyone's journey is going to be unique.
Absolutely, yeah.
But if this shift is really happening, how can we prepare? What can we do to make this transition smoother?
So he emphasizes the importance of living in alignment with our hearts. Cultivating compassion, practicing forgiveness, letting go of fear. He believes those qualities are going to be crucial as we navigate this transition.
So it's less about physical preparation and more about like inner work, aligning ourselves with those higher vibrations.
Exactly.
Even with all of that, the idea of this dimensional shift, it's still pretty overwhelming.
It is, yeah.
Is there anything else we can do to feel more empowered in the face of all this change?
He reminds us that we have free will and that our choices and actions can really influence the outcome of this shift. He encourages us to become conscious creators of our reality, to choose love over fear, unity over separation, and to really trust in the unfolding of this greater plan.
Wow, what a journey.
I know. Right?
From ancient mysteries to the potential for a dimensional shift.
Melchizedek covers it all.
He really does. It's a lot to process.
It is.
But I have to say, it leaves me feeling kind of hopeful and empowered.
Me too.
What are your final thoughts on all of this?
I think Melchizedek's work really invites us to question our assumptions about reality, to explore the vast potential of human consciousness, and to remember that connection that we have to all of creation. Whether you agree with all of his ideas or not, I think there's a lot we can learn from his willingness to explore the unknown and to imagine a more enlightened future for humanity.
Well said. And to all of our listeners out there, keep exploring these concepts. Trust your own intuition, and remember, we're all in this together. Until next time, keep diving deep.